Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. So today we're going to take a look at a module style code reader for your car. It's an ELM 327 version, 1.5 I believe, and it's Wi-Fi connection. So there's different ones out on the market. There's Wi-Fi, there's Bluetooth, there's your typical regular scanners that basically have a cable that either attaches or is attached, like this one. Anyways, lots of choices out there. Some have features, others don't, etc. You know how it works. So the one we're looking at today was sent to me for review to check out. And when you get this thing, you will not get any software with it physically. You have to download a QR code reader little app to scan, well, it's code scanner, I guess, app to scan it, and then it'll give you some choices of programs to download depending on your device, and so whether it's Android or iOS, Apple, like this one is. Anyway, so there are a number of apps that are also compatible with this that are not ones that you would get in the list, okay? And of course, with any of these apps so far I've found, you have to actually pay for them to get fully use of them, including the one that you scan with the QR scanner, which to me that's a bit of a letdown in a way, because you're paying for the tool. You should be getting the software for free. I mean, you pay for this and I mean you just plug and go, right? And there's nothing to download for extras. And there are other scan tools out there where you download an app and it's completely free, no problem. This one, for some reason, it doesn't matter which program we download, it's not a full version program. If you want the pro or paid for version, might as well call it paid for, then you got to pay X amount of dollars depending on which one you pick off the list. But like I said, there are other apps that you definitely have to pay for, and I'm going to show you a couple of these apps anyways. But the one that was part of the scanner was actually this one called Car Scanner. And we downloaded this on my iPhone. We also tried it on my wife's Android device. Now, on her Android tablet, it wants to connect to the internet. And it's like, okay, so no big deal, right? Our internet router is only like 10-15 feet away from us, and her tablet can't reach from inside the car to there with the tablet. So we don't even know for Android if they give it to you for free, because Apple, they certainly aren't. But you do get quite a bit of functionality here. Starting with the dashboard, this is going to give you your coolant temperature and your engine RPM. Now, if I hit my throttle, this thing's really sluggy to respond. So not the best RPM gauge for this program. However, that's fine. There are programs that are a little bit better for that. Now, live data, press combined. It gives you a little read up. I want to save up a little bit of time, but just press combined. It's the best way to go. Now, in here we've got engine RPM and coolant temperature. You can select all these modules to appear on your screen in the dashboard if you pay for the program. If you don't pay for the program, you can pick any two. So if you want to kind of cheat that one a little bit, you know, do this part, go back, then go into the live data, hit combined, turn these off, and then pick two to turn on. So we'll go intake air temperature and max airflow rate, and say okay. And now on the combined chart, it's going to look like this sort of thing. And then of course we can go back here, go to the dashboard, and we're still at engine RPM and coolant temperature. So you can kind of cheat this a little bit. Freeze frame data, you're only going to see stuff show up if there's an error. It's going to log it in freeze frame data, so it's not going to find anything because I don't have a check engine light on. All sensors, now this is cool. So all the sensors that this thing can read in my car, because car-to-car scan tools are different too, right? Just because it says it supports Dodge or Fiat or whatever, Toyota, you know, it doesn't mean it's going to support everything in your particular car, okay? So, but this one supports quite a bit. So now I get access to all my sensors. It tells me my coolant temperature is 85 degrees Celsius. We can check on these little chart things too if you want. Get back. Okay. Fuel system status. Of course, it's not showing anything. Engine RPM right now, it says 635. 664. I mean, it's probably the worst engine RPM program I've ever seen in my life. It's so bloody sluggy. Vehicle speed, great if you're driving. Right now we're not. Timing advance, 10 degrees. Intake air temperature is at 20. Timing advance is now changed to 7 degrees. MAF or mass airflow rate, 1.4. I guess it's grams per second or whatever. Anyways, so then you got your O2 sensors and all this. Calculate instant fuel consumption, average fuel consumption, vehicle acceleration, distance traveled in kilometers, or you can go miles if you want. So it does offer a lot there, which is good for a program that's not a full version. Okay, you can then get into non-continuous monitors. Okay, this gives you a whole whack load of info. Tells you about manufacturer defined monitor IDs, etc., etc. Diagnostic trouble codes. Now in here, this is where you can read stuff. So have it read it. Now, no point, I don't have a check engine light. Now, moving this across, it tells you about this mode. Uses all read and clear command sets, uses extended range of address to get more DTCs from different ECUs, etc. This can take a lot of time, really, no kidding. So, fair amount in there, all right? So even for a demo program or non-registered, non-paid-for program, you do get quite a bit, you know, which is good. You have acceleration tests as well that you can do. Set that up, etc. Okay, so the next program I want to show you real quick is called 4-Stroke. Now this is an awesome little program. Okay, so check the connection out. Yep, wireless ELM 327 adapter, gives me the IP address, my port, simulated data, purchase adapter. Okay, now I don't know about the adapter unless he's got his own actual code adapter specific to his program, but this program will work with the 327. So let's go into the dashboard here. Engine RPM. That's pretty much about on spec with my car. That actually kicks butt. I like that. So, see, there should be... Oh yes, we can change select. So you can have digital as well, which is kind of cool. Okay, so I want the digital. Gauge type, blank gauge, analog, radial gauge, digital. So let's go digital. So we're on digital there. Then you got all these here, but I'm not getting into these for some reason. I don't know why. Let's try this way. Okay, so we get one gauge there. So I guess here we can compile different gauges for different things. Diagnostics, current data, view all sensor readings in this format. So let's go current data. Now, in this one, of course, you're not going to get as much in all your sensors, right? But you're going to get a few of them there. So engine load, engine RPM, long-term fuel bank 1, short-term fuel trim bank 1, and vehicle speed. Freeze frame data, of course this is not going to show anything because there is none. Trouble codes, no stored DTCs, no pending DTCs, or DTCS. Trouble code lookup. Now this is cool. This has got a whack load of them. You can just scroll endlessly. Okay, let's go back. So there's a lot of them in there. Vehicle information. This is going to tell you if it can read your car. It's going to give you your VIN number, which it's saying not available, but more than likely would be available if I paid for the program, which I'm actually considering paying for this program because it's really nice. Fuel type, of course, no data. OBD standard, reserved, not available. Connection information, the adapter tells us it's a 1.5 version ELM 327, and the ECU protocol is going to give us the protocol, which would be the same protocol that this one would use for my car too, so it would find it. Emission readiness, he gives us that, which is great. So if you need to go for an emission test, this car would pass with flying colors. Right on. Okay, so that's a little bit of that one. I'll close that app off. Now, there's also Auto Doctor. Now, it looks just like the car scanner. I don't know why, but it looks the same as the car scanner. And that's how we boot her up. So in here, of course, you've got whatever they're going to give you. And, oh, status. Go over to the little thing in the corner. Now it's got to initialize the adapter. Connecting to the vehicle. I think if I remember right, this was another one that was on the list that you could download for the iOS. Still not a full program though. Very disappointing. Okay, so we have intake air temperature, we have engine coolant temperature, we have a little RPM thing here. And of course we can get into the red line if we want. Yeah! Alright, so fuel consumption not available, only in Pro version as they show here, right? Let's go into trouble codes here. Check engine light is off, so you can't do anything with it. Diagnostic trouble codes. There aren't any. Freeze frame, nothing. DTC database. There's 18,193 codes that you can look up in here, which would be kind of handy because if you have one of these ones and it doesn't have fast enough access or a list that you like, you could also just even refer to the codes in here, and that would help you out. Or hey, Google, man, it's your buddy. So next one is Diagnostics area. Of course, it's not going to let us do anything there. Sensors. This is all it's going to give us for sensors here. So we got RPM, we've got coolant, we got vehicle speed, and intake air. Now, this is a little bit more responsive program than the first one, which was one that you're able to download. So, you got all your preferences in here. So, vehicle, curb weight, 1,500 kilograms. Wow. Pretty heavy car for a little peanut. Anyways, electronic control unit. It's going to give you information on that. Again, you will get a lot of information in this, but if you want to completely utilize the entire program like you should be able to by just downloading the app because you paid for the adapter, well, you have to pay for the program to get access to that. So, but it does offer quite a bit regardless, even though it's I don't know, they call them trial program or whatever. At least it's not popping up ads, which is kind of nice. But anyway, so that's the main programs. Now this one here is called OBD Doctor, and if we fire that up, it wants me to sign into iTunes. This was one that was on the hit list as well, that, you know, you scan it into the QR thing. So I'm gonna have to probably open up an iTunes account or figure out how to sign into it with this thing. But and then we'll let you know at a later date if there's anything new to be had for information on this program. But Otherwise, there are a couple there that, you know, the program is from scanning it with. This is called QR code, is the program that you would actually need to scan the device with. Now, I'm going to shut the car off. Stop wasting gasoline here. Now, this is the unit. Okay, it's an ELM 327 Wi-Fi interface. Supports OBD2 protocols, and it's made by, and I can't pronounce that, but it's YSDING. Okay, so, and there's of course the QR code, which, haha. Anyways, I don't care. So you got little lights here that you're not going to see anyways because it's under your dashboard, but they're status lights. But a very simple unit, and they only plug in one way. I mean, you cannot screw up plugging this thing in. Okay, it just can't be done. Now, if you want a little bit of an on-site comparison here, I'm going to plug my green machine in here. That's what I've nicknamed it. It kind of looks like Slimer from Ghostbusters, honestly, but... Okay, so this is a regular, this is the JDiag JD101. I do have a video on my channel on this one. So if we just do a scan to connect to the computer, you need the car ignition all the way to on or have the engine running. And this one, it connects quite quickly. It's a searching, it's trying to talk to my computer. This is a little bit extra for you. Come on, Christmas is like, oh, a couple hours from now. There we go. All right, so here, codes found, nothing. Read codes. Stored codes, there are none. Pending codes, nothing. Because you ain't going to find anything. Okay, so back here, erase codes, live data feed. Now if you select live data and the engine's off, it's not going to offer you a whole lot of stuff, but it will offer you stuff. Okay, see right now the battery is at 12.65 volts, 64 volts. Okay. So now you can see the live data is actually working, 13.839 volts is going into the battery. Okay, fuel systems, etc. There's a fair amount of info. Map sensors, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so you get the idea behind this one. And it even checks your battery and whatnot. Now, I like code readers, period, because they're different and not every one of them offers the end-all to be-all solution unless you want to pop out a couple of $1,000s, okay? Then you've got the end-all to be-all of all code scanners, right? Well, this one here is actually pretty good. It's great for the do-it-yourselfer, okay? So if you're a backyard mechanic or, well, you just want to know what the check engine light is on your car, this thing is actually going to let you know ahead of time so that when you go to the garage, hopefully you can avoid the scan from them by giving them what you found, okay? Some mechanics will trust you, other mechanics will like, I'm going to do it anyway. And of course, they're still going to give you a bill for it, which I think is wrong, actually, because if you already give them the information, they should go by that. But that's the way sometimes life happens. But at least you know ahead of time that if he comes up with something completely different, I would say there's something fishy, okay? Because when it comes to checking a fault code for a check engine light, pretty much every scan tool on the market, as long as it talks to your car, is going to tell you exactly what that check engine light is going on with. Now, it doesn't always give you a solution, but at least it tells you what could be the problem. Like, your O2 sensor's dead, or something else has gone wrong, okay? Yeah, so this is going to be pretty good for that sort of thing. Now, this does not scan ABS, in case you're wondering. Of course, neither does this little green machine. Okay, so if you want access to ABS, fine. Or you can just ask me what's wrong with your ABS, and I can tell you there's a couple of possibilities. One, the module's dead. Two, you've got a broken wire on the front left or front right, or your rear wire, one of them has given up, or a sensor is gone. You start with replacing wires first, because it's very common for ABS wires, especially on the front end, because they go through flexing more so than the rear. They usually give out first. It's usually not the sensor that's the problem. Yet it will say that it is a sensor anyways. But get a scan tool that scans ABS, and that would be your best solution, actually. Because I can only tell you so much too. Anyway, overall, I think this is a great little tool. I think it would be worth purchasing. But I do think that as far as this whole scanning the app thing goes, they should be giving you a fully functional program. Okay? That's fair, because when you buy this is fully functional, and there isn't much difference in price. Okay? Mind you, this thing does a heck of a lot more than what this does. Okay? But still, you should be getting a free version of the software for it that's fully 100% functional. Then this way, if there's an update in the program, I could see paying a couple of bucks for an update, because that's standard procedure with the end-all to be-all scan tools. You do pay for updates. They're not always free. Of course, there's probably a couple of companies out there that do it for free, but you know, that's probably like a really big buck scan tool, and yeah, they should be doing it for free at that point. But otherwise, it connects well, it does its thing. Very disappointing on the Android side, though. Didn't care for that too much, that it wants to talk to my internet connection, like, hello, okay? Where this one connects fine on my Apple device. Go figure. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. If you want a star rating on this thing, it's getting a ding for the software issue. And it also gets the usual ding for just not being perfect, because nothing in the world is, but those dings are very minor anyhow. I'd probably, honestly, to be honest, I'd probably put this thing at... I would say, with being that it's not a full program with it, I would say 3 3/4. If they were to give a full version program, fully functional, I would have had no problem giving this thing like even a 4.5 out of 5. Okay? And having a program that's a lot more responsive than the one for the RPM gauge, because that was absolutely ridiculous. That other program definitely beat the snot out of it. And I'm more than likely going to pay and download that one for this thing. But anyways, that's where I'm at with it. But otherwise, I still say it's a pretty decent buy for the buck. It's compact. It doesn't have a long cable on it like this that you gotta constantly wrap up and shove it somewhere. This takes up a whole lot less space, and just toss it underneath your little storage spot if you have one in the front. I got tons of them in this car. But yeah, so thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more. I'm going to try and do a few more code scanners here and there, because I like these things, and I'm still the kind of guy, I'm still searching for one that is going to really do everything that I want it to do without having to spend big bucks. So that's kind of doing a lot of research to find out exactly what I need, and then what it's going to take in the end to afford that without buying an end-all to be-all, because I'm not a garage, so I don't need a garage quality scan tool, but I need one that's pretty close, but without paying $1 bazillion. Okay, so there you go. So catch you on the next one, guys. See ya!